Welcome back. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and I hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday, November 4th. It is 8 a.m. on the button on the East Coast. Coming up this hour in 20 minutes' time, don't miss Mainstay Capital Management's David Kudla on the markets and macro story. And then at 8:30, join me for Border Czar Tom Homan. All that coming up. But first, this. It is now day 35 of the government shutdown, tying the longest shutdown in U.S. history. At least 2 lawmakers have confirmed my reporting that government could be back open this week or next. It's got to happen soon after Democrats want to wait until after today's election. Watch. Will the government open this upcoming week? This is getting seriously impacting the U.S. economy. What's your take?
I think it's likely to open Wednesday or Thursday of this week. The Democrats will wait until after Election Day because they think a shutdown is good for energizing the crazies in their party. But I think it'll be either late this week or early next week.
Are you going to have to give on the Obamacare subsidies?
No, the Democrats will collapse entirely.
I think Ted Cruz is right. I think he pretty much nailed it. I think they're waiting to the election. They've ginned their base up over this issue, but it is causing serious damage.
The Trump administration is now funding 50% of SNAP benefits with no funds remaining for new applicants. Meanwhile, Senator Ron Johnson recently introducing the so-called Fairness Act, which ensures that all Americans are paid during the shutdown. Joining me now is the man himself, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. What's your take on when we will see a government reopen?
Good morning, Maria. But what is so bizarre about this is, let's face it, the Democrats are the party of big government. They've, in effect, taken hostage one of their own family members. We've been doing everything we can to help them release their own hostage, but they haven't been willing to do so. I introduced the Shutdown Fairness Act, which a couple of weeks ago they voted against. But there was a fair amount of interest because I was willing to add furloughed workers as well. There's a fair amount of interest back then. That interest has waned, which kind of indicates to me that they're probably about ready to, again, have this election day, and as Ted Cruz is saying, probably open up the government by the end of this week. I hope that is the case. But in any event, we should still pass the Eliminate Shutdown Act so we never have to go through this again.
I mean, I guess if you're talking about reopening this week, on the heels of this election, it also depends on what the election shows, right? I mean, if they win across the board in terms of, like, Zoran Mamdani and socialism and other deep left liberals, does that change the game?
The pressure's still going to be on them. Again, government is their family member. It's their programs, things like SNAP, which, by the way, prior to Obama, SNAP benefits covered somewhere between 6 and 10% of Americans, depending on economic conditions. Once Obama got into office, now that range has been increased by 4 percentage points, 10 to 15%. We've got 42 million Americans on food stamps. We can't tell you how many illegal immigrants, what that cost is, how many tens of billions of dollars a year. So at a minimum, we need to start reforming these programs. They keep this government shut down. That'll give us a great opportunity to start reforming some of these programs and prioritize spending.
That's a great point, actually. Is there an off-ramp other than that? I mean, do you think, like, for example, the Affordable Care Act premium spiking is an off-ramp? Is there some other catalyst that's going to move them into action?
Well, again, what Republicans object to is the fact that the premium subsidies have just masked the miserable failure that Obamacare was. Right. Premiums are increasing not because subsidies are being lessened, it's because the premiums themselves are going up, and those subsidies are only masking it. And again, let's face it, Democrats enhance those subsidies to continue to mask it, to cover it up. They're the ones that schedule them to expire. Republicans had we didn't vote for it. We didn't vote to have these things expire. We're going to let them expire, and they should expire.
Yeah. Great point all around. All right, we got to get to this massive unchecked power by special counsel Jack Smith during his so-called Arctic frost investigation. The former prosecutor ordering nearly 200 subpoenas of Republican lawmakers and conservative groups to track their communication, including you. I spoke with Texas Senator Ted Cruz Sunday. He was one of the GOP senators whose phone records were subpoenaed. Watch this.
Arctic frost is Joe Biden's Watergate. And in fact, in terms of abuse of government power, it makes Watergate pale in comparison. Jack Smith was appointed with one mission: stop Donald Trump. Do not let the American people vote for Trump as president. And he took his orders and launched a dragnet, the scope of which has never been seen. He issued at least 197 subpoenas directed at over 430 individuals and organizations, all Republicans. The subpoena he sent to my cell phone record, AT&T, was for my cell phone records, my voicemails, my texts, the communications in and out, the geolocation. And he sent it to AT&T. As you noted, AT&T did the right thing. Their lawyers looked at this subpoena and said, we can't hand this over. This is protected by the speech and debate clause. It is a fishing expedition, and I believe that the House of Representatives should impeach Judge Boasberg.
This is pretty extraordinary. Do you think that Judge Boasberg should be impeached?
Probably. And listen, I agree with Senator Cruz when he said it's a fishing expedition, but I also agree with him when he said it's more of a massive dragnet. We are getting more information from Verizon. We appreciate that. So the numbers are increasing. But this is way more than just a dragnet designed to use lawfare to take out President Trump. This was lawfare that was designed to take out their opposition party. I mean, this was a massive undertaking. And again, I think a dragnet is the better term for this, a massive partisan dragnet, again, designed to then use lawfare to just really cripple the opposition party. We've never seen anything like this. It was brazen. It needs to be fully uncovered. I talked to Kash Patel earlier this week. We're going to sit down and meet with him when we get back from recess. We need the FBI and Department of Justice to cooperate with Congress to make all this information public. I want them to protect their prosecutions, but the most important thing is we need to fully expose this. None of this can be sealed or hidden in court records. This all has to be exposed so the American people really see how outrageous and pervasive this dragnet was.
That's unbelievable. I mean, look, you had Merrick Garland and you had Lisa Monaco. Now, Lisa Monaco has a big job at Microsoft. You said you're getting more information from Verizon. I've got Verizon's letter right in front of me here where they responded to Senator Grassley. And in there, because we all know what happened here, Verizon gave up the goods right away. They said, look, we want the data on these Republicans, and don't tell them that we're tracking them. That's exactly what they did. AT&T, on the other hand, said, well, wait a minute, you know, we're not going to get involved in this. We're not sending the information. But in this letter to Grassley from Verizon, they say they're actually now going to make changes. They're making, they said, nonetheless, with the benefit of hindsight and informed by Verizon's discussion with Senate leadership over the past year, going forward, we're making the following changes to our practices. So you feel you're getting more information now from Verizon?
We absolutely are. Yesterday, we got additional subpoenas with a lot more phone numbers. And unlike when the FBI contacted us and had our names, we just have phone numbers. So we're busily, diligently tracking those things down. That's how Senator Rick Scott found out that he was a target of this dragnet as well. And I'm going to be leaving here for a press conference with Senator Scott. But we need to track down those phone numbers. That's why I say the more I see, the more this is looking like a massive dragnet. This wasn't just a fishing expedition hoping to dig something up. This was designed to be utilized in their lawfare to cripple their opposition, the Republican Party. It's just breathtaking, quite honestly.
It's absolutely breathtaking. So when you're a special counsel, do you just get wide open, use to do whatever you want? I mean, is that why Jack Smith got such, such allowances because he was a special counsel? And do you want to bring in people like Merrick Garland and Lisa Monaco to testify on this? Was it their direction?
I want to get the documents first. It doesn't really make any sense to either interview or have them testify until you have the documents so you know what you're talking about. They know where all the wrongdoing is hidden. They know exactly what they did. We're still in the dark. We're seeing this massive dragnet. We see the outline of it, but we need all the details before we bring them in. But no, they're going to be brought in. They're going to be testifying. They're going to be interviewed. They're going to be exposed.
All right. Real quick before you go, Senator, ICE officials are facing a surge in death threats now and violent attacks. They're carrying out President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration, but DHS is reporting an 8,000% increase in death threats targeting ICE agents. I'll be speaking with White House Border Czar Tom Homan in a few minutes. He's going to join me in 20 minutes, but you're part of the Homeland Security Committee. What is being done to keep these officers safe?
Well, first of all, let's put the blame where it really lies, and that's with Democrat elected officials who are encouraging people to do this, to track ICE officers, to target them. It is absolutely unconscionable. About all we can really do is support them through financing, support them from a standpoint, and we need to keep their identities confidential, and we need to prosecute anybody who incites this or carries out these types of threats.
All right. We'll be watching your work, of course, as always. Senator, great to see you this morning. Thank you.